give me a marketing message based on the slide you see there. Go ahead, I'll wait. You got time. Type one marketing message in there. If you're stumped, I'm about to give you a hint. Here's the hint for you. Each rate line is a marketing message. Not only is each rate line a marketing message, it is a target market. It is also a lead type. So for example, 24% means that in 2022, their income is $89,000 to $170,000. So when you buy a profile list, for example, you can target that profile list to singles, marrieds, you can target that to age, and you can target it to income. So you could actually get a list specific to a tax rate, 24%, 32%, 35%. Some of you want to work with high net worth clients, 37%. You could get a list like from WS Pontown, and you could create an email template, a funnel, and you could have a different email template to each one of these groups because the tax rate applies a little bit differently to them. Type in the chat box and tell me if you see that as something that would be useful to you. Do you think that's something that you would use? And if you would use it, how would you use it? Just type in the chat box. I'm going to keep moving on, but I want to see your comments. So the next one is the 2022 capital gains brackets. There was a proposal for long-term capital gains rate for 2022 of up to 25%, but it didn't come to fruition. So here's my question for you. If it didn't come to fruition, does that mean politicians have stopped thinking about it? Or does that mean that it's still in the mix and it may come up later? Because if you think it's still in the mix and it could come up later, that's an email template and that's a subject line. So you've got the entire year between now and next April 18th, unless they change the date, to send that message out. And if the laws change, if it's amended, you're instantly prepared for that. And like it says here, it's important to remember that the short-term capital gains are taxed as ordinary income. So for taxpayers with that modified adjusted gross income of $200,000, singles, $250,000 for those that are married, filing jointly, you've got the 3.8% net investment income tax. Where's the email template for the net? NIIT. Because right there is your target market. 15%, $41,000 to $459,000. That's a profile list you can get. Married, $83,000 to $517,000. That's a profile list you can get. Well, Lord, that sounds good. I can get it. The profile list is about $115. I can get with phone number and email when available. But what's the message? Well, for taxpayers whose modified just gross income over $200,000, for those single, $250,000 for those married filing jointly, there's an additional 3.8% net investment income tax. Do they want to pay that? Are you prepared for that? Were you planning on that? How would that impact? How many questions can we think to ask? I mean, it's a great opportunity. So I'm going to stop for a minute. Type in the chat box and tell me if you feel like any of these tips have been useful so far. All right, yeah. The IRS gives a 3% break. Yes, I have to prepare clients on tax planning strategies. I will talk about it. Good, Richard. Good job. I'm proud of you, man. Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just reading a couple of these real quick here. Yeah, IRS gives that 3% break. Absolutely. So let's get some specifics here. We know April 1st is the RMD. Is everybody aware of that? April 1st was when the RMDs were required. So they had to have the RMDs. Once they turn 72, they must take their yearly required minimum distribution from their IRAs. If they turn 72 in 2021 and haven't satisfied the first RMD, then they've got to do so by today. But guess what? Today's the day. You can't put a marketing email template together yesterday and send it out, right? But now you know for next April, you need to have a marketing template ready. And that should go out by February 15th. February, March, April, right? You want 2 months lead on that. because your templates are going to be in a funnel, and they're going to have different messaging, and they're going to go out at different times on a morning, on an afternoon, and on an evening. So you can see when people respond to their emails. Here's another message. We know the individual tax returns are due, but what else is due right now? The first quarter estimated tax payments. So most of you probably got on here. How many of you got on here and on April 18th, all you thought about was the individual taxes? Type yes or no in the box. How many of you just thought about the individual taxes? You didn't think about the first quarter taxes. And you don't have to be a large business to have the first quarter taxes. That's not actually necessary. You could be a small business owner and have the corporate taxes due. So again, you have to have your email template prepared to address that. We know that the first quarter of next year, the exact same issues are going to come up. And then the deadline to make a 2021 IRA contribution, that's a different messaging, isn't it? So you could actually get a list, again, I'm not promoting the company, there's a bunch of companies out there, Target Leads and WS Ponton. You could get a list of people who own an IRA, and you could target them on February 15th that they've got until April 18th to make that, to make that contribution. So let's go with another one. Here's June. So look how many marketing messages there are right here. And I'm already, like 10, 15 minutes into this. Look how many marketing messages there are in here. Then you've got June. The second quarter's due. Isn't that great about the first quarter, the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter? Every one of those are marketing messages. Every one of those gives you an opportunity. And remember, the work from home change in our economy means there's tons of people working from home now as independent contractors and have the exact same kind of issues as the brick and mortar small business owner. And then you've got the 2021 individual tax returns due for individuals living outside the US. So some of you who have relatives outside the US, some of you who have relatives that are in the military, people that are working outside the US, they have a different time frame for getting their taxes in. Again, that's a different marketing message. It's a different market, and it's a different lead that you get, right? A different lead type that you're going to get. Then, oh my God, another one, Lloyd? Geez, I don't have time for all this marketing. Then you have September 15th. That's the third quarter 2022 estimated tax payment. Next September would be the 2023, but you've got, if you thought that you missed, if you got into this today so far, and your thought was, oh my God, I can't believe, Lloyd's right, I missed all these marketing opportunities. You have tons of marketing opportunities to go forward with now. My counsel to you is if you don't do your own email marketing, get with the person who does it for you, and get these messages put together. Because someone's going to get in front of them. And when someone gets in front of them, they're going to pick up those lost commissions that aren't being used right now. Now look what happens in October. You got another one. The extended individual tax returns are due. So if you filed an extension back on April 18th, then those taxes are now due. So those of you who missed the April 18th opportunity to market, you're not done. Now, who normally, for a lot of businesses, a lot of small business owners, work from home people that do their own taxes or have someone else do their taxes, what's another market for you? Preparers, right? The great thing about preparers, I used to network with CPAs all the time. The great things about CPA is if I can show them how to eliminate, prevent, start, or stop things that are negatively happen with their customers, they're more than interested to find out. So this is a great way. Advisors ask me all the time, how do I network with tax people, Lloyd? Well, one of the things is talk their language. And the tax season is their language. What are the 3 benefits that their customers can get from that tax preparer referring you? And I've shown you some of those just by the regulations that are changing. So you got October 17th. Is there anything else? Yeah, December 31st. That's the deadline to satisfy the 2022 RMD. You're not done. That RMD for April 18th was for last year, for 2021. You have the whole year to go out there and reach out to people. And think of what an RMD means. I remember a client in Johnston, Tennessee that called me up. I think he was 73, 72, something like that. And his wife, who had just turned 70, this is back when the RMDs were 70, got a check from one of her qualified accounts that she didn't ask for and she didn't want. And they realized that that was going to make them go over the Social Security threshold, and they'd have to pay some taxes on their Social Security. And he called me frantic. Is there anything we can do about this? And the irony of the insurance business is that health insurance is tax deductible. So they were able to take that RMD and pay an annual premium on a long-term care policy. So there's tremendous opportunity in doing the marketing, besides the fact that you're booking your calendar.